The 13th pick in the 2023 NBA draft, the Toronto Raptors select Gradey Dick of Kansas.
Okay.
And the red suit makes a lot more sense.
Not a name I had heard connected with them, so they did very well to smokescreen this, in my opinion.
Here's what I would say with Gradey Dick in Toronto. You saw the report earlier today about Pascal Siakam preferring to stay in Toronto.
I did, yeah.
So if that's the case, and you've got Scotty Barnes, you need floor spacing. I think Gradey Dick makes sense there if you're going to try to run it back a little bit further with Pascal.
Yep. No, I think it's a pick that makes a lot of sense. Like I'm not saying that like it doesn't make sense. I think it's reasonable. It's just something they haven't really done in the past. They tend to like these guys that are bigger, longer, athletic and everything. B, it's also something that I just hadn't heard much of, really. Like I just, frankly, I'd heard a lot of Kobe Buffkin. I'd heard a lot of like Jalen Hood-Schifino. I'd heard a lot of like the guards there. I'd heard a bit of Bilal Coulibaly.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a surprise, but you're right. Like if you're going to play Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam, and that's going to be your duo of the future, right? Let's remove OG Anunoby just for a second, because has 1 year left on his contract. Siakam also has 1 year left on his contract, but obviously, as you mentioned, the Haynes report earlier said that he might not want to necessarily leave Toronto and wouldn't be willing to sign an extension elsewhere other than Toronto. So it's interesting that we're at this point now with Toronto that they are willing to look at fit a little bit more. And I do wonder if in this case, Gary Trent has already opted in. I'm kind of expecting that he signs an extension. Maybe I'm wrong about that. That doesn't come from inside information. That's just me kind of assuming that he wouldn't have opted in unless there was something cooking there, maybe. I think that they just had needs in the backcourt, and they had needs kind of everywhere. It's fascinating. It's genuinely really interesting that this happened.
Yeah, I wonder if they do lean into like playing Scotty as the primary decision maker a little bit more and being that super wing heavy thing. Like, hey, let's move on from Fred VanVleet. Gary Trent, you're going to have to guard some ones on occasion. Scotty will cross match when we need him to. Get a bunch of wing specialty shooters around that, and we can pick and play with different lineups and rotations that we want. That's fascinating to me.
No, I love it. I think it's a really, really interesting, trajectory for them. You really have to buy in. I can't tell if you're wincing when you look at.
No, he looks like a leaky faucet, man. He's just got dripped too hard. God. Look at that guy.
Ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, that's so sweet.
The Raptors media is going to have a lot of fun with Gradey Dick. Like, there's no question about
Great
that.
Kid. Yeah.
So 14 now is coming up. 14 is interesting. Obviously, I think Cam Whitmore is like a potential outcome here.
Oh my God.
I think Cam Whitmore's potential outcome moving forward everywhere.
Yeah.
Kobe Buffkin, I think, would make a lot of sense here. I wonder if Jordan Hawkins could be a thing here.
Yeah, they got a lot of options they could go. I think that they could be even a position for a trade in some regard if someone wants to. Like, we are in the range where with Buffkin and Whitmore, the buzz could be enough for a team to try to leverage something and move down if someone else really likes them. But man, this is two different guys here who have, whether it's medicals or Kobe Buffkin and his camp, trying to really control and limit the workouts, where we're seeing some of the downsides of that, and two guys that can slide. And go ahead, you got something.
Well, I'm not worried about Kobe Buffkin sliding. Like the range for Kobe was always 10 to 17 or something like that, right?
Sure.
And for what it's worth, if this happens, I will say what I think they were trying to do. Okay. Maybe. Well, I think people have pinpointed the wrong team that Kobe Buffkin was trying to get to, is what I will say.
My take on some of this stuff with these two guys is I always wonder, and maybe we'll see this, or maybe you have some thoughts, when there is a player who slides a little bit more than anticipated on draft night and now is into the range of a lot of teams that did not get the chance to work him out, or the camp was really cautious about not letting him work out for those teams and perpetuate the idea that he could slide. Do they feel comfortable taking a player like this, knowing they might not have anticipated him being in that range? Like, how do you as a front office deal with this so quickly in real time?
The thing that helps them, in my opinion, is that there are a number of teams in the lottery that had multiple picks. Like Houston has been connected with Cam Whitmore throughout the process. They have 20. By no means would be a stunner if they moved up from 20 to go take Cam Whitmore, in my opinion. What I'll say is I want to move to this question real quick on Jet Howard. Jeff Weltman said Jet Howard played the season injured. That's true. He hurt his ankle midway through the season. I want to, give that real, time here to talk about that. He did. He hurt his ankle. And I think that that's why you saw some of the movement skills maybe a bit compromised and why you saw maybe a few things not go as well. Here's what I'll also say. Before the ankle injury, Michigan was a better team when Jet Howard wasn't on the court, frankly. And that's backed up statistically. If you go to pivot analysis, I have, talked about that ad nauseum at this point. I don't need to belabor the point. I think go back to other points where we talked about Jet Howard in the past. I did move Jet up to the 17-ish to 21 range, because I thought that he would go somewhere 15 to 25 tonight. And if he goes 11, that's, it's not like a standard deviation away from that, I don't think.
Sure. Okay. New Orleans, and then Atlanta, and then Utah at 16.
By the way, Atlanta is the team here that I have no idea.
No idea. All right, here's Silver.
Yeah.
14.
Go ahead.
The New Orleans Pelicans at 14. Oh, he's doing that damn trade thing again. He's in that.
Okay. So Atlanta, the team, the guy I'd heard for Atlanta was Cason Wallace if he fell to 15. I don't know if, I don't know where they go now, basically.
Okay.